Tensions this election season are running high, and it has created a heightened level of concern for election workers and voters. As News 9's Ryan Wooten tells us, state leaders in Maine say violence at the polls won't be tolerated.
The level of violent chatter has increased, and in particular directing that towards our election workers. That is a direct attack on our democracy.
No matter who wins the 2024 presidential election, state leaders say they're hoping to see a peaceful transfer of power.
I encourage everyone to tone down the rhetoric.
Following the results of the 2020 presidential elections, many election and poll workers were met with threats and harassment. Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows says reports of threats rolled in by the thousands across America, including some in Maine.
Here in Maine, there were just a few instances of threats against election workers, but even one threat against an election clerk is one threat too many.
In 2022, the Maine Legislature passed laws and state statutes that protect poll workers, and it is a federal crime to threaten or disrupt a polling place or an election worker, crimes that District Attorney Megan Maloney says will be prosecuted.
Simply trying to get in a person's way when they walk into their city hall to cast a vote, that is a crime. Trying to physically intimidate someone, right? That's a higher level crime.
Maloney says verbal and electronic threats will also be investigated.
The Republican Party and me as a
in light of the continuous personal attacks that are constantly passed between both the Republican and Democratic campaigns, Bellows says voters need to look past the rhetoric.
Verbal attacks, disinformation, lies about our elections are unacceptable. Violence is unacceptable.
To make people feel intimidated about voting is hurting the very foundation of our country.
Ryan Wooten, News Center, Maine.
Now, Secretary Bellows says city and town clerks across the state will be completing de-escalation and election security readiness trainings before November.